Hello, internet friends. Thank you so much for joining me here today. This video is going to be a recap and showing all of my lifts from the Seattle Summer Classic. It's the USAPL semi-local meet that I competed at this last weekend in Lynnwood, Washington at Locals Gym. I was put on by Todd Christensen from Seattle Strength and Power. You guys have seen me have some training sessions there before, and I had a great time. It was a wonderful competition experience. And I did pretty well right up until I didn't. And I guess the goal going into this meet was to post a slightly higher qualifying total for nationals. I'm fine with my qualifying total. I'll be able to get in, no problem. It was just a matter of trying to post a little bit higher nomination total, and that was the entire purpose. That was the entire goal. And ironically enough, we ended up posting the exact same total as my last one, but with a different distribution of lifts, though I am actually more happy about this one. Even though the last total that I posted was at the Arnold Sports Festival, I kind of had to overcome more circumstances in this meet, which normally isn't the case for a local meet versus one that you've traveled for. And I don't want to use those as excuses because I am very happy with how things went for the most part. But just to take something away, sometimes when you go in and you have this certain expectation, if you fail to meet that expectation, it can feel like a waste of time. But that wasn't the case. If anything, I learned a lot from this experience, and I am even more excited moving forward. Kind of that I was able to match my best ever total on a day that I really had no business doing it. So you're watching right now, this is going to be an all-time meet PR for me on the squat, and I'm very happy with this. 300 kilograms or 661 pounds. And I would say that is probably the best third attempt I had. In terms of the squatting from the Arnold, I squatted 650 with a misgroove, and it wasn't the best looking squat, and then we went to 672 and I had missed it. So being able to come back and hit something in between those two numbers and have it look better than either of them, I was really happy. That was a consistency PR as well in terms of holding positions and not making any technical errors during the lift. Onto the bench press, what I had, I also want to say thank you to Izzy from Powerlifting the Win, my good friend who lives near Lynnwood. He came out and I had him handle me for this meet, and he was calling my attempts, and I think he did a great job and was calling all the right numbers. We ended up going a little bit shy of what I had done previously for the bench press because this rep itself didn't move particularly well. It did stall out around the middle of the lift for me. And so Izzy made the call to go 374 instead of matching my USAPL competition best, which would be 380. And I agree with the call based on how that second attempt felt. Do I think that I could have pressed 380 on the day? Yes, but I didn't want to I don't think either of us wanted to take the chance of me losing more than 5 pounds, especially when I hadn't shown on the second attempt that I really had command of that weight. So there's some definite things that I can improve with my bench training. I think there's some consistency issues that I've had with about half of my training sessions that I can really improve on. Onto the deadlifts, and this is kind of a mixed bag of emotions because things felt really good on the deadlift. I was very happy this 744 moved even better than the 750 that I had done at the Arnold. And as a second attempt, I honestly believe that we could have put anything on the bar on this lift within range of the plan, and I would have been able to pull it. But this last lift is where everything kind of came to a screeching halt. And again, I don't want to think of these as an excuse for underperforming because I am very happy that I learned a lot from this. But I figured out once I was going to take my drug test after this that I was incredibly dehydrated. I couldn't pee. I had to drink a whole lot of water, get a whole lot of fluids back into my system to get out some of the least hydrated looking urine that I've ever produced. And it was one of those things where it kind of flashed back as to, oh, this may be why I kind of gassed out. Usually conditioning hasn't been a big issue with me in terms of meat conditioning, but there were some factors, and those factors are that I went to bed on time, but I woke up very early. I went to bed at midnight and I woke up at 4 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep. So my sleep was a little bit off. I didn't let that affect me during the day, but I'm sure it was a contributing factor. I got stuck in traffic on the way to the meet, so a 2-hour drive turned into a 3+ hour drive. And it ended up being probably the hottest day that I can recall since just the hottest day that I've experienced in about a year or so. And I didn't adapt to that very well by increasing my water intake. I was drinking about the amount of water that I normally drink, and didn't factor in how much more water I was losing just from sweating bullets the entire time. Along with that, it was the flights themselves were moving very quickly, and so from my second attempt to my third attempt was a shorter time than I'm used to using for kind of maximum effort. And so again, that's just kind of a collection of things that I believe had an impact, but there are things in that I can take away and improve on and be better prepared for the next time. I would much rather have those kinds of things happen now and be able to tie my best total and build that confidence that I'm capable of more if all the circumstances fell in line. If this is what I can do on a day where I'm being challenged in some unique ways that I didn't cope with incredibly well or didn't know how to cope with, now I feel like I'm much more prepared for that, and I'm very excited to see what maybe this means for nationals in October. So while it wasn't the result that we had hoped for, and objectively the meet kind of was a failure in that I didn't do the one thing that was the goal, which was increase my my overall total, I took way more away from it than if we would have just done that. If everything would have gone according to plan and I wouldn't have had to do any of these things, I probably would have gotten that goal but learned less. And so anytime that you learn from these experiences, that's what makes it fun, that's what makes it exciting to get back to training, and that's what really motivates me to continue to work and improve. Every significant breakthrough that I've had through years and years and years of doing this has come as the result of having messed something up bad enough that it sticks in your mind. You remember your failures, you remember the things that didn't quite go the way you wanted them to, and that can be if viewed in the correct perspective, it can be an encouraging and motivating energy to take you forward into the next thing. And I might feel differently if I didn't feel 100% confident that on the right day I would have that deadlift and more. Maybe it would be a different feeling, but I feel like it's kind of that. Given the day and given the circumstances, the way that third deadlift felt, I was honestly surprised that the whole meet didn't feel exactly like that. So I'm very, very happy. Once again, I do want to thank Izzy for coming and handling me, my beautiful girlfriend Jess, who spent the entire day taking care of me and was incredible and wonderful the entire time. Powerlifting meets are kind of an interesting place to go for a significant other, especially if we've been together for years and she's never actually seen me compete in person. She's watched live streams before, but this is the first meet she actually went to, and I was a little nervous that she might get bored or be disinterested or feel neglected, and she was a champ the entire time. Those two really, really made it a lot easier for me to kind of, I guess, function on the day and not worry so much or get bogged down by the things that, the circumstances that were out of my control, and help me to kind of deconstruct after the fact maybe why my expectations were what they were, and maybe some of the reasons that kind of factored into the way that the performance ended up coming out. Also want to thank Eric and Hanny, my coaches from the Strength Athlete, for all of the work that we've done. I think that even though the numbers don't show it specifically, I think that the way that this meet went and the way that it could have gone shows that I've grown since March, and I've improved in a bunch of different ways, and I can't complain. The meet objectively went better than it had any reason to go, and that's not on the meet staff or anything. It's just on the day and all those other things that no one can control. So thanks to Todd, thanks to Seattle Strength and Power for putting on the meet and running it. I did have a great time. I had some incredible interactions with people. I love going to local meets and talking to people that I don't often get to see. It's something that I don't do as much as I kind of wish that I could. But I just, for everybody who I had a chance to talk to, or who said some kind words or encouragement, or lifted themselves, thank you all so much for making this an awesome experience. I will remember it fondly, and I will take what I can to learn from this and grow and come back stronger, more prepared, and better in the future. So thank you all for listening to this. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to also aspire to continue to increase my output of content and take you guys on this journey with me from now up until Orlando in October. So wherever you're at, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Thank you. Bye.